Welcome back to the channel. I'm Lauren Fix, and this is the 2024 Acura Integra Type S. I'm very excited to drive this car because if you've driven the Civic Type R, you know that it's a great car. But if you want some of those luxuries you don't get in the Type R, you're gonna get it in the Type S. Big changes, more performance, better handling, better looking head-up display, more technology, just a lot all the way around. We're gonna walk around this car and then we're gonna take it for a drive, and then I'll give you my pros and cons at the end, so you wanna stay with us. The Integra Type S is distinct from every angle. It takes the regular Integra and the Type S just makes it sleeker, bolder, and more aggressive with a wide body design. The first thing you're gonna notice is this black grille, which is really aggressive looking against this mica blue. I love this color, by the way. If I was gonna buy a Type S, this would be the color that I would buy. And I've been driving this for a week, and everybody says this is a head turner, and I agree. More aggressive front end, ductwork that actually works to cool the brakes and to cool the engine. You'll also note that on the hood, there is an actual functional vent. You can see that it goes through to get some of that heat out of that motor that's got even more power. Distinctive LED daytime running lights and markers, and of course that Type S logo to let everyone know that you're driving a cool car. And Integra is embossed right here. Nice and cool and low key. One thing you'll note is that larger grille increases airforce by 170% to cool that motor down. You'll note by just coming down to the wheel that you're gonna see this more aggressive fender. It is bolder, it is more muscular, and that Type S logo to let everyone know, yeah, this is not just a regular Integra. This is riding on 19-inch alloy wheels that are gray with Brembo brakes. That's one of the best ones on the market. Big brakes and Pilot Sport 4S. Michelin tires. These are really sticky. This is not an all-season tire. This is an aggressive performance tire, and it really does make a difference when you're driving it on the street and on the track. The Integra Type S is a premium performance compact vehicle that is in a segment that is very competitive. It's a 5-door liftgate design, but the styling cues immediately communicate high performance capabilities. It's wider, it's longer. It has an aluminum hood with a functional vent, wider body fender flares, and wider wheels and tires for a more aggressive stance. It's important to note there is no moonroof. The Integra Type S is built in Marysville, Ohio, so yes, it is a US built car. There are 7 exterior colors and 3 interior colors. I really like the combination of the interior they offered us with that lighter gray and black, really nice looking, very performance oriented, because the competitors are doing the same thing. And you have to bring your brand up to that elevation, and I think Acura has done that. The first thing you're gonna notice when you come around to the back is this very unique, very cool carbon fiber wing to keep that rear end down at speed. I think they did a nice job following the design of the front here on the rear, and I'm sure it's functional because they put these vehicles in wind tunnels in order to get the best aerodynamics. Integra is embossed here underneath the right taillight, underneath the left. On the left, you have that Type S logo and the Honda logo here. But this is what's really impressive. 3 exhaust pipes out the back. This is there for functionality. It actually works and has a great sounding exhaust. And when you take it on the road, you'll see the difference. The one thing to note is the backup camera for visibility does have lines for guidance, although the clarity is not fantastic. It could be better. But it's good to know that you have a backup camera, although that's pretty much standard, I believe, by the federal government for the last few years. Inside, you can see the beautiful ultra suede and leather seating. It has 12-way power as well as lumbar on this Integra Type S. It's on the door sill as well as on the floor mat. The seats are really nice. They're leather, they've got this extended ultra suede, and if you look carefully, there is that Type S logo embossed into the headrests. Very nice. I'm also a big fan of this big beefy steering wheel. It also has the stitching that matches the seats and the Type S logo. The one thing about the seats is the driver's seat has everything. The passenger seat is still manual. Not a big fan of that. It depends if someone rides in the passenger seat with you, but they don't get much adjustments. Going into the second row, you've got this beautiful leather as well. It's nice, it's soft, and it seats 2 people back here, not 3. There is also 2 child safety seats back here. If you want to teach your kids about driving a fun car, this would be it. You'll also note that there is no center armrest, but there is 2 cup holders, a pouch behind the passenger seat, nothing behind the center console, and nothing behind the driver's seat. There is, however, storage in the doors as well as that ELS audio speaker. Let's take a look at some of the safety features that are standard with this vehicle, which starts with the driver assistance setup. You can also adjust your head-up display here, and you can adjust the height. There are different settings in here as well for your head-up display and all the information that you would need. In addition, your keyless access setup, your lighting, your doors and windows in your individual settings, and then over here, your maintenance information. Now, in the driver information, this is standard. Everything is standard with the Honda product. The Acura watch system includes collision mitigation, forward collision warning, road departure warning, lane departure, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping, and park sensors, both front and rear. Everything is right here, and you can adjust it. And if you say, well, how do I know, like, the rev matching system is off? Let's say I want to turn it on, and that will adjust accordingly. And it also gives you a notification on the dashboard. If you're curious about certain things, you can have them on or off. It explains it right here. Lane keeping assist, some of the 4-letter acronyms, all that is right here if you decide you want it on or off. In front of you, you have a 10.2-inch Acura Precision cockpit, which has driver information for the interface, and then premium technologies and this 9-inch touchscreen here. The buttons are right here, easy to use. All your favorites are down below, and a dial. Satellite radio is standard on here, as well as your Bluetooth and FM. Go over here, you've got AM radio, which we're glad is still in this vehicle, and you have Acura Link, which is really nice because this will give you connectivity to your phone and all the apps and everything that you need. And then, of course, if you want to have a compass, but most people are using Apple CarPlay and Android Auto because that's something that I think people want. It's wireless and it's included standard. There's also a 5.3-inch head-up display and 16-speaker ELS Studio 3D audio system and wireless phone charging, which is right down here. Below the center screen, you've got these new vents that you're seeing on the Honda lineup, as well as charging, 4 different types: wireless, USB, USB-C, and your standard outlet, whichever you prefer. This is one of my favorite parts of this car, the manual transmission. It's a 6-speed manual. Type S is embossed in the back. You've got your drive modes. You can go into my favorite drive mode, which is Sport S. And when you do that, you will see that gauge turns yellow. See, that would be your Sport. That would be your Comfort. And when you go into that Sport Plus, that gauge turns yellow. And that's a throwback to the original Type S. There are a lot of options you can purchase for this vehicle, and that includes a bike rack, carbon fiber mirror caps, 19-inch glossy metallic wheels, Alcantara steering wheel, that would be nice versus this leather one, which I do like, titanium shift knob, and illuminated door sills. Lots of options if you want this to be your favorite new toy. Under the hood of the 5th generation Integra Type S is a standard high-performance engine. It is turbocharged 2-liter VTEC engine producing 320 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. That's an increase of 120 horsepower and 118 pound-feet of torque. Standard for the Integra Type S is the manual transmission. It's a 6-speed, it's precise, it's got short throw and rev matching, really, really nice. In addition, fuel economy is 24 miles to the gallon combined. 0 to 60 time, 5 seconds. 0 to 100, 11.7 seconds with a top speed of 167 miles per hour. One last item to note is that red cover on the engine is what you would find in the NSX Type S. Red denotes Type S for the Acura lineup. 0 to 60 time, 5 seconds. Nice. This vehicle's got some good performance in the Sport Plus mode, and that's really important because you can also drive it in the Comfort mode or just the Sport mode. Believe me, having this vehicle for a week to test drive it, you only want to drive it in the Sport Plus mode. But because you're not going to do that in reality, let's bring this down to the Sport mode, which is going to be your more fun mode. Yesterday it was raining. I drove it in the Comfort mode. It was coming down cats and dogs, and this vehicle handled really well. Now there is some massive upgrades to the suspension, and that's not just the dampeners and the stabilizer bars, but it's also the configuration of the front suspension has been improved. All of this is designed to keep the tires down on the ground, obviously, but to make it really sticky, making it handle better on the track, but having a more spirited ride on a daily basis. The first thing is you're going to notice this shifter is really short throw. It is the proper height. So when your hand's on the steering wheel, when you turn it and drop down, it's right there. You don't want it really high. You want it like low, but not so low that you can't do it natural. This is a natural transition. They did a really nice job with placement of the shifter, length of the throw. Just everything about this is very specific and it's synchronized. You can put the rev match on, or you can take the rev match off. That's completely up to you. Currently, I have it off. I want to hear the exhaust note. This vehicle sounds really nice. It's not over the top. It's not in your face, but it's fun. It's more sophisticated. You want something that's just wild and have a great time, you get the Type R. Now, I have been told that the Sport Plus mode for the Type S is equivalent to the sport mode for the Type R. So the Type R has a mode that's even more aggressive. So you want to check out some reviews on that because it's obviously a different vehicle. And we have different reviews on our channel, both in English and in Spanish. This car is so easy to drive, I have to say. I really like that. It's just, you want to keep driving it. I mean, it's just super easy. If you're driving a Mercedes and BMW or an Audi, and which I've owned all of the above and had an RS5, have a TTS and a bunch of other toys over the years, I will tell you this vehicle is a great value. I was talking to one of the internals over at Acura and they tell me they're going to make about 3,600 of these cars. So if you want one, go to the dealer, ask for one, because I'm telling you they're going to sell quickly. And you may think that's a big number, but in reality, the demand for these is quite high. People want a vehicle, they can make it as a daily driver, and this vehicle definitely does that. Like I've been saying, if you live in the lower half of the country, you're probably gonna need snow tires because these are summer tires, and they're the Michelin Pilot Sports. So yeah, they're sticky, but they're not good in the winter. So let's put this down to comfort mode. You probably won't be driving it in comfort mode unless you're bringing someone with you who doesn't like a spirited ride. And there are times when you don't want that, you don't need a ticket. So driving it in the comfort mode, this vehicle is really nice. It softens the suspension, makes it really nice to drive. It absorbs a lot of the bumps and noises that are on the roadway, which is really nice. And this is not a loud interior. I'm really liking this vehicle, and just overall what it offers, it's the lightest vehicle in the category and it's the lowest price vehicle in the category. And those are all massive positives for Acura. When it comes to cargo space, there is 24.3 cubic feet of storage, and those rear seats fold down 60/40. There's one thing to note, there is a high lift over and then it drops down. So if you're lifting luggage up, that may or may not work for you, but this is pretty typical of these compact sport sedans. There is a cover here, and underneath is a tire inflation product. There is no spare tire. There's also an ELS Studio 3D speaker in the back. The 2024 Acura Integra Type S has a lot to offer. With a starting point of $50,800, there really wasn't any options, just a few random ones, and of course, destination and delivery. But the value here is that this is the lowest priced car in the category. Less expensive than the Audi, less expensive than the Mercedes-Benz CLA, and less expensive than the BMW 2 Series. You are getting it all in one package. As this vehicle sits, it came in at $50,800. That is actually a pretty good deal. The only thing that's going to increase this price is when the dealer realizes the demand is high, and I fear that some of the dealers are going to start jacking up the price and it's going to cost you more money. If that's the case, use the internet, shop online. There are places all around the country where someone will give you this vehicle at sticker price. Please don't pay over sticker. Now the pros and cons. Pros, love the manual transmission, like the color, the new head-up display, the new interface, really easy to drive, really fun to drive, and this could be a daily driver. Of course, if you live in snowy country like I do, you'd need winter tires, but if you live in the lower half of the country, you could drive this every single day. It's got 4 doors, and it just makes life easy, and there's plenty of storage in the back. On the negative side, I wish I lived closer to Watkins Glen. I'm about 2 hours out. That's the only negative I could come up with, is this vehicle is way too fun to drive, and it's one of those vehicles I don't want to return. Every once in a while, we get a vehicle that I wouldn't mind putting in my garage and this is definitely one of them. I'm sure you have additional comments and questions. Put it in the comments down below and start the conversation. Do you own a Type S? Are you planning to buy a Type S? Did you buy one of these or have one on order? Let's start that conversation. If you got value from this video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you'd like to support our channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link for that is down below, as well as for the website, the podcast, and the social media. I'll be posting more videos of this. I cannot tell you how much fun this car is. You got to take it for a spin. Even if you buy something else, which we've reviewed them all, this vehicle is a blast. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.